Hello and welcome to another trip report. Not a long distance train this time, not an international train, but it's actually the core focus of my channel, but on the longest tramway in the world, at least until this moment, because in 2022 there will be another tramway that will be longer. It's the coastal tram, it's right behind me, that will go from the Knokke in the north of Belgium, about 7 kilometers away from the Dutch border, all the way to De Panne, which is about 2.5 kilometers away from the French border. Here in Knokke there's not really a good public transport connection to the Netherlands though, and this part of the Netherlands is, well, pretty difficult to reach from other parts of the Netherlands as well. Anyway, I will tell you more with the use of a voiceover. When you like this video, give me a thumbs up on YouTube, and when you don't like it, just save yourself some energy and just don't do anything. And when you like to see more train related videos, subscribe to my channel. For now, let's roll the intro. The Belgian coastal tram covers pretty much the entire coast of Belgium, from the north to the south. And this is pretty unique, even though the coastline of Belgium is not that long. Let's take a closer look on the current route of the coastal tram. These trams run between Knokke, what is not far away from the Dutch border, all the way to De Panne, what is 2.5 kilometers away from the French border, and where you find a good bus connection to Dunkerque in France. Total length of this route is 67 kilometers and the top speed for these trams is 78 kilometers per hour. The Belgian coast is being used very efficient, mainly for tourism. You find a lot of high-rise buildings along the coast. Although the biggest part of the coast is there mainly for tourism, you also find some nature and some industrial areas. Even though Antwerp has one of the biggest sea harbors in Europe, these vessels will go to Antwerp via the Netherlands. So this is not interrupting the Belgian coastline, but of course you still find some sea harbors here. Because this is an inter-urban tramway in quite a dense area, at some spots it feels more like a tram that's just in a city, and on some other parts it feels more like a local train. Railway tracks and sand you'll find at the beach don't go along that well together. Therefore you find special vehicles that will suck up the sand when it's needed, so the timetable can still be guaranteed, even after a stormy day. By the way, these trams do run on a 1 meter gauge track, so this is a narrow gauge railway line. Along the Belgian coast you'll find several railway stations, but the most important for the coastal tram are Knokke, Blankenberge, Oostend and De Panne. To these destinations there are also special Coast Express trains. These trains, they don't stop everywhere, they go for longer distance in Belgium. It's a rather interesting concept actually. When you like to make me a video about the Coast Express, just let me know in the comments so I can consider this. But you also find smaller stations, for example Duinbergen. It's only a 4-minute walk to the tram stop from here. In Zeebrugge you will find 2 railway stations. Zeebrugge Dorp, so the town, that's being served all year round but only on weekdays, and the Zeebrugge Strand, so the beach, and this is being served only in July and August and only in the weekend. Let's go back to the beginning of my journey at the railway station of Knokke. Of course, I arrived here by train. Just like most railway stations along the Belgian coast, Knokke is a terminal station. Here you find 3 tracks. Right next to the railway station you find a big parking garage for bikes. You also find these bike sharing programs of the Belgian state-owned railway company. It might be fun to do a comparison of bike sharing programs of state-owned railway companies in different countries. Do you like to see a video about this? Just let me know in the comments. Within the railway station building you'll find a waiting room inside, a vending machine for tickets, a ticket counter, some lockers and some vending machines for snacks and drinks. That's it. Of course, you'll also find both digital and old-fashioned timetables. When you walk out of the railway station in Knokke and turn left right away, you'll first pass the bus stop. The company that's operating these trams is the same company as that's operating buses in this part of the country. Therefore, the information screen right next to the bus stop hosts departure times of both buses and the coastal tram. Near the tram stop there's a ticket counter and information desk, but also a vending machine and some more space to park bikes. This is one of the main transport hubs for the coastal tram. although it's not the biggest transport hub. At quite a lot of stops there's a staffed ticket counter / information desks, and at even more stops you also find these ticket vending machines. Although I've bought my ticket via the De Haan app. At the moment of recording you'll find 2 tram types on these routes. I will show you them in a bit. In the older tram times I also saw these validation machines, but as far as I found out, you can't use them anymore. Instead of that, you'll find these validation machines for tickets, and when you haven't been able to buy a ticket before the journey, you can also travel with your bank card. Then you have to hold it at these white machines. At nearly all tram stops, basic information on how to get your ticket is given as well, although it's only in Dutch. Like I mentioned earlier, I've bought a mobile ticket and I've bought a M-Day pass, so that's valid for 24 hours. You can also buy tickets that are valid for 1 hour that are €2, and when you buy 10 tickets at once, you pay €16, so €1.60 per ride. These tickets are not only valid on the coastal tram, but also on all buses, other trams and metros of the line. When you have your holiday along the Belgian coast, you can also buy multiple day tickets. Personally, I would recommend you to do this. Then you can discover the Belgian coast at your own pace. There is some more I'd like to tell you, but also more I will tell you. Before I do this, I'll show you some views from the tram between Knokke and De Haan. Right after that, I'll show you the interior of these trams. Before I continue the journey, I will show you the rolling stock on this route, as in 2021. As you already maybe noticed, you find 2 types of trams on this route. This is the older livery. The leg space is relatively good. At the back you find a 2x1 configuration. In the middle you'll find a lower part where you can enter the tram when you're traveling with a buggy for young children or with a wheelchair, for example. And at the front you find a 2x2 configuration. A line map can be found above the windows all over the tram. Connecting public transport is also mentioned over here. Personally, I really like the seats at the back of these trams. You also find this at the newer trams, and there it's actually a bit better. In these older trams you won't find TV screens that will host route information. Instead of that, at the end of each compartment you'll find an LED screen that will host information about the next tram stop. At the outside of these trams, the destination is also written on a digital LED screen. These older trams only provide barrier-free access in the middle car. Therefore, at the platforms you find a slightly higher point, and this is exactly where the middle car will stop. So the places where these trams do stop are fixed. Time to show you the newer trams, because when you're traveling on this line in the future, you most likely will end up in one of these. This or the type Urbos trams that are being made by the Spanish manufacturer CAF. You find them quite a lot in Europe. Just like the older trams, you have this great view from the back of the tram. Because these trams are lower to the ground, you'll find barrier-free access. The interior of these trams is much more up to date, of course. At several spots you'll find TV screens that will host route information, announcements, or just like in the older trams by the way, all made in Dutch. And well, that's it. Although the distances and travel time are relatively long for these trams, these are still commuter trains, so no long distance transportation. For now, let's go back to where we were, and that is at the tram stop of De Haan. Right now I'm at the tram stop of De Haan. This is the only original tram stop that's still here. Lots of the original tram stops have been demolished, but this building they also wanted to demolish it. The city council, they bought the building, and now this building hosts a tourist information, a public toilets, and it's just one of the, well, nicer spots, nicer tram stops along this route. I will go for a wander in this town and then I will continue the journey towards direction De Panne. As I mentioned earlier, the Belgian coast is really touristic, and the town of De Haan is no exception when it comes to this. Although it feels a little bit less en masse than some other towns along the coast. For now, I'll continue the journey and show you some views from the tram between De Haan and Oostend. Oostend hosts the busiest and biggest railway station along the Belgian coast. So right now I'm at the railway station of Oostend. This is the busiest railway station along the Belgian coast. Also quite central located. I think about, well, halfway between De Panne and Knokke. I did a trip report last year that was on the longest domestic intercity train in Belgium that runs from here, so between here and Eupen, what is close to the German border and is also a German speaking town. Will pop up somewhere right now on the screen, and you can also find a link to that video in the description of this video. In that video I will show you all details of this railway station. I will show you it very briefly in this video, and I think it's also about time to find a place to grab some lunch and then continue the journey to De Panne, and probably I'll find a spot on the way to go out as well, because being non-stop on these trams, I would not advise you to do that. There are lots of nice places where you can go out, have a little wander. Well, this is also what I'm gonna do. I'm hungry, so let's find a place to eat. Finding a spot to eat near this railway station is relatively easy. There are quite a lot of facilities. As I mentioned, when you want to see the full station review, just watch my video on the train from Oostend to Eupen. Oostend is not just the busiest railway station and an important transport hub for the coastal tram, but it's also the busiest town along the Belgian coast. As you may expect, right next to the tram stop there's also a physical ticket shop, and within the railway station you also find a physical ticket shop, so ticket counters for normal train tickets. For now I will continue my journey a little south from Oostend, because this is where the tram is heading right next to the sea, and this is the part I like most. I wish you knew. Although it's called the coastal tram, the tram will go for the biggest part, actually for the entire part along the coast. But you can't see the beach everywhere. There's only a small part where the tramway will be directly at the beach. It's a little south from Oostend. Actually I like this part most. It's really funny because the scenery is very different. Sometimes you're in an industrial area, then you're in a city. Mainly it's in the touristic areas, but you can say a lot of things about the Belgian coast. But they use their space very efficient. Well, let's continue the journey now to Knokke. De Panne, I mean.
It's time to get away. I wanna see it all. The world is open wide. I wanna feel alive. I hear adventure call. Hey, hey, what are you saying? Feels like a
railway station of De Panne, you'll find the tracks for the tram right next to the tracks of the trains, and this can be very useful. When you're traveling from or to France, this is also a good connection. Over here you find a bus every 30 minutes on weekdays and Saturdays to Dunkerque in France, and on Sundays these buses run every 60 minutes. When you want to make me a trip report on this route, for example from Dunkerque to Brussels, just let me know in the comments so I can consider making a video about this. The tram related facilities can be found right next to the tram stop. A waiting room, a ticket counter and also a vending machine for tickets. Between the railway station building and the tram stop you find a bicycle parking, and this is also a point when you find the bike sharing program of the Belgian state-owned railway company. When you walk a little further direction to the station building, there are some vending machines for train tickets. Within the station building there are vending machines for snacks and drinks. And within the station building you will find a ticket counter, although it was closed at the moment I recorded this. Of course, the station building also hosts a waiting room and information about departing trains from here. In the summer season it's possible to make a ride with an historic tram from De Panne. For more information, go to the website that will pop up on the screen right now. I'm here at the rail station of De Panne. When you're traveling from Knokke all the way to here, the tram is a fun way, but it's absolutely not the fastest way. It's about 1 hour faster to go by train. But it's a really fun way, and especially when you stay in one of these towns along the coast. This tram is a really good way to explore the Belgian coast a little bit more. Anyway, I hope you like this video. When you do so, give me a thumbs up on YouTube. And when you like to see more train related videos, subscribe to my channel. See you on my next video. When you want to support this channel, you can like the videos, you can leave a comment and you can also subscribe to my channel. This is very much appreciated. But there's something more you can do. I do have a Patreon account as well, and you can also support this channel financially. You can already do this from €1, dollar or pound per month. I started this channel back in September 2019 when I went to China and Korea by train. Back then I worked for a company that was selling international train tickets all over the world. So therefore I do know a lot about train fares. Due to COVID all employees got fired. I also lost my job, but I found a new job pretty soon after that. Not in the train business though. This channel is mainly focusing on international and long distance train traveling, just to show you what it's like to travel on a more sustainable way of transportation. So, show you what it's like to travel on train instead of taking the car or the plane. And while I'm doing this, I'm trying to answer as many questions as people ask me. At the moment I worked for the travel agency that was selling international train tickets. Even though COVID made it a bit more challenging for me to make new videos, and the videos are not as exciting as I planned it to be, Patreon is stimulating me in a good way to create more and new content. Apart from that, it also offers me a unique way to interact on a different way with my audience. Everything I earn on this channel, both Patreon and being monetized on YouTube, will go directly into the channel again. I don't earn anything on this channel, as a matter of fact it costs me money. But I don't mind, because I really like to do this. So, when you like to support this channel financially, you can go to patreon.com/trainviking and you also have some extra benefits.